The illusion of freedom. Legal freedom of speech does not equal actual freedom. So basically, your voice is controlled, and here is the proof. First of all, let's look at the difference between de jure, speech rights, and de facto, which is censorship. Now let's look at this table to make it a bit more simplified. We'll look at the term, meaning, example, and key point. De jure speech or speech rights, meaning is right guaranteed by law. And a good example would be the US First Amendment, freedom to criticize the government. And a key point is, this actually exists on paper, legally protected. De facto, which is the censorship, is restriction in practice. Good example would be social media, shadow bans, or journalists self-censoring due to threats. A good key point would be, this actually exists in reality, regardless of the law. So, in theory and in summary, you might legally have free speech, de jure, but actual censorship can limit it, which is de facto. And we'll go over a couple of good examples over the last few months. One of them is the US government revoked visas for Palestinians or pro-Palestinian posts of students within the US, citing policy under Donald to curb foreign terrorists. Now, that is your freedom. Another example is, if you're in the academic space, you would see a lot of attacks on academics under the guise of national security. And this is across the board. It's not just the US, it's in Canada, UK, and the entire civilized West. Now in this part, I'm going to hand it over to Jack, who's going to tell you about the freedom of speech according to the First Amendment. And then the librarian, Dave, is going to tell you what the law says.
Freedom of speech. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
The law says you can speak. Reality says your words may cost your education, your visa, your freedom.